Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Clickbait Coffee. We're going to let YouTube catch up or StreamYard. I don't know which one it is. It doesn't do it fast. Hey, guys, it is Tuesday, November 25th. It is almost Thanksgiving. It's hard to believe that this year is almost over. Give me a 2 before in the chat if y'all can hear me, and let me see. Local Prepper was the first one in here. Thanks, LP. I appreciate you jumping in here. And then, like LP said, hit the like button as you come through. I appreciate that a bunch. Forrest is here. Dana Russell's here. And 60 Old Man Growing. Let's see. All right, let's see this. Let me pull up. It feels like a Monday. It says, good morning from rainy Kentucky. Sitting on the front porch, cup of coffee, watching the turkey eat the clover at the gun range. That's not a bad morning right there. And we got a 2 before. Guys, I appreciate y'all being in here. It is almost Thanksgiving. Tell me what y'all are going to have for Thanksgiving, especially if it's something odd. I know some people do some weird stuff and a break from the norm, turkey and dressing. Some people, I know one of my friends, they do seafood for it. They're like, we do not like turkey. We just do seafood. And there's AB Seafood up around E-Town that they go and get a ton of seafood and just do a big seafood thing for Thanksgiving. But what's everybody going to do for Thanksgiving, and how many? Let's see who's going to have the most people at their house for Thanksgiving. I would love to know. We're going to have, I think we're having Thanksgiving here. We're going to have about, I think 8 to 10 people, something like that. So, I mean, it's not going to be a huge Thanksgiving by any means. But I would like to know what everybody's going to have for Thanksgiving. How many people are y'all going to have? I bet somebody in here can probably break 30 people, I would say. Lynn, good morning from Adair County. Thanks for jumping in. Yeah, we're going to have probably 8 to 10-ish people. We're doing the traditional stuff. We're doing a turkey. My wife's got a turkey we're going to do, and then we're doing standing rib roast. I do not like turkey. The only part of the turkey I like is the skin. So that's really we do a standing rib roast on Thanksgiving, Easter, and Christmas just because I love standing rib roast. So cook one of those up and some turkey, and then we're going to have dressing, deviled eggs, all that kind of stuff. So it's going to be good. And I've got a few things I've got to get done before Thursday. My wife is like, here's your list of stuff to get done before Thursday. I want this done. I'm like, yes, ma'am, we will get it working. So pretty much I'm going to spend this afternoon doing stuff at the house, and then spend part of the afternoon doing more stuff at the house to get everything done. And I tell you what, I am swimming. The boxes behind me, I am swimming in stinking medical stuff. We've got I'm waiting for a couple more things to come in, and then we've got to start putting all the bleeding control kits and all the trauma bags together for church. They ordered a ton of stuff. I sat down with the medical director, or the medical response team, the director with that. And we put together a whole big package for church. And I was like, I said, some of the stuff I don't have. I said, let me get all this stuff in. And then, of course, the kits, the boxes that we're going to hang on the wall, I didn't have enough of those in. So I was like, let me order those. So stuff, I came home yesterday from doing some stuff, and UPS had come. My wife's like, you've got tons of boxes over there. And I look, and I'm like, holy crap. And then there's like a ton more stuff coming from another supplier today and tomorrow. So it's like we're just swimming. My office is crammed. In front of me and over to the side is just crammed with medical stuff. And I've got to get some of that out of here. So that's might be what I do this weekend if everything comes in, is put a bunch of bleeding control kits together to get ready and take them and mount them to church, mount them on in the classrooms at church. Dana says, traditional Thanksgiving for us, 18 to 20 people. That'll be a house full of people. We used to go, before my father-in-law died, we would go down to before before he died, my mother-in-law and him had all his brothers. I think he had 6 or 7 brothers. They would all come over there, and there was like 30 something people at the house. And she had a big house and everything, so it wasn't like super crowded, but man, it was a lot of stinking people at the house. So I kind of like small Thanksgiving, honestly. So, but yeah, throw it in the chat what y'all are going to have, how many people y'all are going to have there, and we'll shoot on with some other stuff. Big pressing thing right now. If you're going to come to the herbal workshop, the deadline for that is November 30th. We're going to cut off registration at November 30th. That's going to give Leslie enough time to get the supplies ordered that she needs for the class. So if you're thinking about coming, get on that right now and get your ticket for it. We've got a coupon code of HERB15, HERB15. That will get you 15% off the herbal class. So if you're going to do that, get on it and get your ticket ASAP, because we're going to cut that off the 30th of November so she can have enough time to plan and get the supplies. So also Black Friday deals. There's a thing scrolling across the screen. Free shipping on $150 or more, plus 10% off site-wide. And there's also our IFACs, our KSL facts, like right where the pen's touching. The KSL facts, those are 20% off, right? Or yeah, 20% off right now. Use the code FAK20, FAK20 to get you 20% off. Get you 20% off those first aid kits. Everything's in stock except for red. I keep forgetting to buy red ones. I'm probably going to order some red ones today and see how fast I can get those. But yeah, so we've got free shipping, then we've got 10% off site-wide and 20% off the IFACs. So get that. Oh, also, I will be on here Friday. I might have Leslie on here Friday morning. I was looking at some topics and thinking about some stuff, and I texted Leslie last night, and I was like, hey, can you swing Friday morning? And she's like, let me see what I can do. I was like, I've got an amazing topic for us to talk about. She's like, let me see. So she's going to let me know, but I will be here regardless of whether it's with Leslie or by myself. I will be on here Friday morning, Black Friday morning. Everybody will be out shopping and all that good stuff. But I bet most of y'all are not going to be out shopping. I bet y'all will be on the homestead doing some work that are still recovering from the turkey coma that you get on Thursday. My wife said she wanted to go down to Tennessee where she's from and do go to a couple little boutiques or something like that her friends have. And I'm like, go, that's fine. Lincoln and I will hang out all day and figure out something to do. So this weekend we got back. We went, Shelly and I and Greg went, and then Melanie went. And Melanie does all her, so she handles Facebook and does amazing on Facebook. She absolutely loves it. Loves it. We all went down to Tennessee to TECC training to get our certifications for that. And TECC is Tactical Emergency Combat Casualty Care. It's a medical class with a tactical spin on it. It covers a lot of good stuff. We went down to a training facility with a guy I met, and we went through it. We spent all day doing it on a Saturday. It was fun. And let me see, Forrest jumps in here. Forrest said, just in case anyone's wondering, I did not win the $650 million Powerball yet. Forrest, I was worried about that. I laid awake all night worrying, did Forrest win the Powerball? So I'm scrolling up through here looking for something. All right. Greg Skeens, good morning. But yeah, we went to TECC training to get certified in it. And Melanie's here. So Melanie was here. Melanie went with us and had a good time. It was a super fun weekend. We went down Friday afternoon, drove down went over to Greg's house, jumped in his truck, and loaded everything in his truck and headed on down to kind of the middle of nowhere, Tennessee, and did this. We went and met Bill. Bill that's in here all the time. Bill came and ate dinner with us. His wife wasn't feeling real good, but we met at a Mexican restaurant, ate Mexican, had a good time hanging out, talking and all that stuff, and then went back to the Airbnb, and everybody crashed out. We got up early on a Saturday, headed out to the training facility, and this was a live fire. It was pretty fun. I would have liked to have done a little bit more live fire stuff, but all in all, the training was good. We got our certification and learned a lot from that. So, Darren, good morning. Hacks for the Homesteader. I guarantee Darren is having turkey for Thanksgiving. So today I've got to pack up orders and get those jokers shipped out. And then once I get that stuff shipped out, I got to get that stuff shipped out. Once I get that done, I'm going to run down to my brother's house for a little while and do some work on his remodel. And LP says, I like turkey. I cannot just get into turkey. I just do not like it. I will eat the skin off the turkey, and then I'm just like, I'm done. I don't want any of this. So, all right, topic of the morning. What happens when the vast majority of America has zero trust in the government? You know, what happens when trust for the government goes to zero? LP says, I like ham too. Darren, honey orange marinated turkey. That sounds pretty good. I might like that. So, all right. So what happens when the vast majority of the American people has no trust left in the government? I mean, you look at it now, it's like Marjorie Taylor Greene comes on social media and is like, I'm resigning, whatever, the first part of January. And, because everybody's saying Trump's doing 4D chess and he's here to save us and all this stuff. And she's like, it's not happening. This is all a hoax and all this. And all these other people are just saying all kinds of stuff. And it's like, what do you trust and what do you not trust? I can tell you right now, and you probably already guessed it, I have very, very little trust. My trust for the government is about that much right now. I want to be left alone. I'm 47 years old. I know right from wrong. I know what to do and what not to do, and I can take care of myself. The only thing I need the government for is to maintain the roads and to protect the borders of the United States. That's the only thing I need the government for. I don't need the government to give me handouts. I don't need the government to tell me, oh, you need to drive 55 miles an hour on this road because it's dangerous if you go 60 miles an hour. I don't need it. I don't need the government to tell me right from wrong. I don't need the government to tell me, oh, you shouldn't steal and we're going to prosecute you for stealing. I know you're not supposed to steal. I'm not going to steal. But, that's where we're at in this country. And Dana says, when you lose trust in the government, you start homesteading and living like we do. 100%. And Darren says, your trust is 3 times more than mine. Maybe it doesn't show up just right on the screen, but we're looking like a half inch. I mean, I'll tell you, the only government official or any kind of elected official that I trust is our sheriff. I trust him. We go to church together. Brett is a stand-up guy. I like him. He is a constitutional sheriff, and I think he's one of these guys that if there was a bunch of unconstitutional orders, he would buck the system and say, hey, we're not doing this. So honestly, he's probably the only one I trust. Anybody else, man, you are crooked as a dog's leg, in my opinion. So, all right. So what happens? It's all about systems, stability, and the reality that society only works when people have trust in these institutions. You know, the school system only works when people have trust that they're educating their kids and not indoctrinating their kids. Morning, Bill. So the school system only works then. You see, people are going in record numbers homeschooling their kids or sending their kids to private schools. Yes, my youngest son goes to a private school. We make the sacrifice to make sure that he can go for that financially because I don't want him in the public school system getting indoctrinated. You know, they've got your kids for 9 hours a day, and they're just feeding them, you know, propaganda all the time. They're having tranny story time and crap like that. It's like, I don't want my kid involved in that. So we found an awesome private Christian school. They teach him. He comes home singing hymns, telling Bible verses. We do his Bible verse every week, and then he's got chapel every week. Bill says, I got a call this morning that my mother passed away peacefully in her sleep. Bill, I hate to hear that. We'll be praying for you and thinking about you. That's always hard losing a parent. I lost my dad a while back, and yes, it is super hard. But Bill, we'll be praying for you, and I hope everything is going okay for you. I hate to hear that. But so you know, why is it? Why trust matters, kind of thing, and especially with the government. You know, people obey the laws, they pay their taxes, they accept authority because they trust the system. You know, that the system will protect them. It's going to manage resources the way it needs to go. It's going to respond during emergencies, you know, but of course, FEMA, you know, look at Hurricane Helene. FEMA really banged it out over there. We went in one of the places and the FEMA guys were sitting there playing on their phones, and they were more intrigued with their phones than they were on actually helping people. So they're not really going to respond during emergencies. They won't actively work against them. So the government's actively working against us. You can tell that 100%. I mean, look at what they're doing with manipulating markets, working against us. Just look at the tax system and just all the stuff that they're doing. They're actively working against you. The food supply, they're spraying shit in the skies all the time to poison us, all that kind of stuff. So the government is actively working against us. I wholeheartedly believe that. There's not government agencies that are like, oh, let's make these people's lives better. It's like there's an agenda of like, we need to depopulate and make as many people as we can sick and to kill them. That's just cold, hard facts. Nobody's going to admit it, but that's what they're doing. They're not saying, hey, we really need to get these people eating healthier. We need to get all this crap off the shelf. If they were really, really worried about it with the SNAP and the EBT benefits and stuff, they would have taken all the junk and trash and candy and all that crap. They would have already taken it off and made it to where you only had to buy healthy stuff if they were worried about your health. They should be like, hey, you need to shop on the outside aisles of the grocery store. Get real meat that's unprocessed. Get real vegetables, all that stuff. Get some real food, you know, that. So when that belief in the system evaporates, the systems break down. It's like, hey, we're just not going to do this crap anymore. You know, the trust is already starting to collapse. You can see it just everywhere. You don't believe that the numbers that they're telling you, kind of thing. You know, don't believe that, oh, you know, the government has this unbelievable approval rating, stuff like that, that the system's stable. They're going to tell you the system's stable, all that stuff. It's not super stable. The agencies are competent. I mean, you look at it, the agencies are not competent. There's so much waste and stupid stuff and bureaucracy. They're not competent. They can't do their freaking jobs on stuff. It's like, if you look at some of the government agencies, it's like they are nowhere near competent enough. They can't handle day-to-day stuff, and just stuff slips through the cracks all the time. The leaders are honest. I hadn't met too many honest politicians. They're going to tell you one thing, give you lip service on one thing, and they're going to turn around and do the exact opposite on on that. Look at the mayor of New York that they elected. He came in promising all kinds of crap just to get your vote, and then turns around, and then the governor of New York is like, you can't do this. Like, you can't raise the taxes on this. You can't do this. He was talking about, free transportation for all these people. And they're like, where's the money going to come from? And then he's like, well, we're just going to do a 2% tax on this. And the governor's like, you can't do this. So these politicians will come in and just feed you a line of bullshit and tell you all this stuff. And the uneducated and uninformed, blue-haired, mouth-breathing liberals are like, yes, we're going to get free stuff, all this. And they believe it hook, line, and sinker, and they vote for this guy that has blatantly lied to them. And then they turn around and they're like, well, we thought you were going to do this. Well, we're going to have a problem doing that. I don't know if we can really implement it, or it's going to take 3 years before we get it implemented. So the leaders aren't honest. Big institutions and the big meat packing companies, they don't have our interest in mind. On these big institutions, it's the bottom dollar. It's not, oh, we're going to make these people's lives better. It's like bottom dollar. The big meat packers, they're going to get the beef as cheap as they can, process it as cheap as they can, and sell it for the highest price that they can, because they don't have your best interest in mind. That's where you need to start raising your own meat, or have a local supplier. If you don't have room to raise cattle at your place, find somebody next to you that raises cattle the way you want to, and then buy the beef from them. And then Dana says, there's no money to be made with wellness. Sickness is the moneymaker. 100%. If I can find a cure for cancer, and if we can give you medicine to cure cancer, if somebody comes in with cancer and it's like, hey, we're going to do X, Y, and Z, and it's going to be $5,000 to cure your cancer. They've only made $5,000. But if they can come in and be like, man, we need to run you through chemo, then we need to do radiation, and then if that doesn't work, we're going to do this for X, Y, and Z. We're going to keep you just healthy enough that you don't die until we can suck every bit of money out of you that we can. And instead of getting $5,000 from that person, we're going to get $200,000 for that person. Or we're going to put you on a statin to lower your cholesterol. Instead of telling you, hey, you need to eat right, you need to do X, Y, and Z, and cut all this other crap out of your life, and just get an office visit and your copay, whatever it's going to be for you, we can put you on this statin the rest of your life, and then we're going to suck, $100, $200 a month away from you for the rest of your life. Dana's 100% right. And then you look, this is why all these things, people are moving more into preparedness. They're moving into homesteading and getting ready for all the disruptions. There's like record number of people. Well, before Trump got elected, there were record number of people under Biden that were coming out, buying land, doing all this stuff. And now the bad thing is Orange Man's back in office, and a lot of these people are like, hey, everything's going to be good. We're set, ready to go. Trump's in here is going to save the world, 4D chess kind of bullshit and stuff like that. Now, he's just doing some good stuff, but I don't think half the stuff that he wants to do is actually going to get done. But there's a lot of people that are still getting prepared. I have not shifted gears. I've not laid off the gas or anything. It's been floor, feet to the floor, just going as fast as I can, getting stuff done, because I want to be prepared when something happens. So, what it looks like, what zero trust starts out looking like. First part, compliance disappears. When the trust starts to fall, compliance disappears. People stop following and stop following laws and stuff like that. Billy at Perma Pastures Farm has said forever, he was like, I will disobey unjust laws. And there are laws that are totally unjust that I'm not going to follow. You know, there's stupid laws and regulations. I mean, people ignore regulations all the time. It's like, well, you have to get a building permit to do this little to build this little shed on your property, or you have to get a building permit to build a chicken coop. It's like, that's totally stupid. I own that land. That is my land. I don't need a permit to build a chicken coop. And there's places where you have to. I mean, hell, in the city of Bowling Green, to put up a fence, you have to get a permit to do it and go down, and it goes back. It's nothing but a money grab on that. You have to go pay your 50 or $100 for your building permit to put up the thing, just where the government can get some money so that person can have a job. That's all it is, period. Businesses quietly do their own thing, 100%. There are businesses that will be like, we're not obeying these unjust laws. We're not following your stupid compliance stuff. Oh, you've got to wear a mask to come in my thing. It's like, screw you, man. We're going to do what we want to. Businesses will do that. Personally, there's some stuff that I disobey in my contracting business. It's like, hey, we're going to do this. Also, individuals stop believing the official take on the events. We've been doing that a long time, but then you're called a conspiracy theorist. No, we're just trying to find out the truth, and we're not going to take the official narrative as the gospel. Honestly, I don't believe hardly anything that comes out on stuff like that. It's like, hey, let me look and let me see the real story on it, because they're probably only telling you half the truth, if they're telling you any kind of truth forever. And yeah, Darren, it's better to ask for forgiveness and permission and stay under the radar. Darren, I don't know how many times I have said that. I mean, and I live by that. I will do something, and then it's like, oh, you mean I couldn't do this? And they're like, no, you couldn't do this. Like, well, sorry, the building's already built. What can we do now? And then also, if you know the rules and the regulations on certain people coming on your property, then you can nail them with that and be like, hey, you broke your own regulations. You really don't have a case on that. And then, let's see, Bill says, here in Madison County, Tennessee, we don't have to have a permit for building unless we put water and electric in the building. Yeah, and it all kind of varies. It all kind of depends. L2 Survive, good morning. We're talking about what happens when the American people have zero trust in the government. And most everybody in here probably has zero trust in the government. So we're kind of preaching to the choir. And another thing that happens, every message from the system just becomes white noise. And it has become white noise for me for a long time. I look, national stuff, I'll look at it and I'm just like, meh. It really doesn't affect me. Or, this is just straight propaganda. I'm not going to sit and dwell on it and get aggravated and everything else, because there ain't nothing I can do. But I'll look at the stuff that's local to me. I think BGMU, which is Bowling Green Municipal Utilities, they handle power, water, sewer, and all that stuff for inside the city limits. There's something they're going to have a few hours power outage. I think they're scheduled. I think it's scheduled for the 30th or something like that. I don't really know. Sometime right after Thanksgiving, where they can do some work. I know that's going to happen. It's not going to affect me because it's going to be in the middle of the night, and I don't live in the city and have those. But people are all in an uproar about it. But I know it's going to go on. That's the kind of stuff that I keep up with local, within like a 20-mile radius of where I live. And yes, Bill, I talked about that. It was good to meet you too. I appreciate you coming out and eating with us. So then kind of when trust collapses all the way, and we're seeing this right now. I mean, you can see this with people that I talk to and people that I run around with. When trust collapses, people start doing their own systems. You're talking about cash-based barter systems. I mean, I do cash a lot with people. I mean, I always carry cash on me. I pay for a lot of stuff in cash. Unless it's something I have to order online, I typically pay cash for it. Barter stuff. man, I'll barter with you. If we got some stuff to trade, I'll trade with you. Skill-based exchanges. You know, if there's something that I need, yes, I'll come out and do a job for you, a contracting job. If we can trade some stuff out on it, uh, do it quite a bit. I don't mind a bit doing some stuff like that. Off-grid food networks. You know, you don't always have to go to the grocery store to get your green beans. But now, if it's January, you're probably not going to get fresh green beans on an off-grid food network kind of deal. But there's ways, doing that local and the off-grid food networks and the local supply chains and prepper to prepper markets. All those three things are essentially kind of the same thing, but they work just a little bit different. Local only supply chains. I've harped on this no telling how many times. If you love beef and you don't have enough room to raise beef, find someone that has beef and you can buy the beef. You can buy the beef from them. You know how it's raised, you know that person, and you're good to go. Or you can trade some stuff out with them. If they want some lamb and you're raising sheep, you can trade out, do some stuff. Or if you're raising pigs and they don't want to get into pigs, man, right there, trade it off. Cut the middleman out. There's no three-letter agency getting any money off that deal, and it kind of pisses them off. So, that's pretty cool in my opinion. If we can piss them off and do that. Let's see, L2 survive. I get a lot of stuff just because I'm so pretty. If I was pretty, I would get some free stuff too. But I don't get much free stuff, and that's funny. L2. Last night I was sitting at my desk doing a couple things, and Dennis, our Sunday school teacher, called me, and he was like, "Hey," I had to tell you something. He was telling me something about the business meeting Sunday at church, and I was like, "That's cool." And he said, "You know what?" He said, "I woke up this morning, and he said I looked in the mirror, and he's like, man," he said, "I was thinking," he said, "I am glad I don't look like Jason every day." And I started laughing. I was like, "That's funny, Dennis." I said, "You know why it's good that you don't look like me?" And he goes, "Oh," he said, "please tell me." I said, "Because if you looked like me," I said, "you'd have to carry a stick to beat the women off of you every day." And man, he started cackling, and I could hear his wife start cackling in the background. He goes, and I said, "You wear the stick out too." I said, "You got to buy 4 or 5 a week. You used to use them so much." And he's just laughing about that. And he goes, "Hold on." He's like, "I got to go get my boots." He said, "It's getting deep in here." So Bill says, "I'm so pretty, my phone doesn't even want to do facial recognition." Yeah, exactly. All right. If we keep going down keep going down this rabbit hole, stuff like this, the black market, you're going to have, if there's little to no trust and no trust in the government, people are just going to be saying, the hell with the government. We're not doing anything. We're not messing with them. So then you're talking a black market's going to go. You're talking about fuel, ammo, water storage, medical supplies, tools, food. When people don't trust official sources, they trust each other. I am way more apt, and I am way more apt to trade and trust my neighbor on getting a cow. My neighbor runs a cattle farm right next to me. I am way more trusting on buying a beef from him than I would be buying a beef from Cargill or whatever the people are, all the big four meat packers. People are going to be trading more privately. It's not going to be the big stuff. People are going to be like, man, the government's been poisoning us for years. The Walmart doesn't care about our health, anything like that. So you're going to be trading with your neighbors and trusted people, with the fuel, the ammo, water storage, medical supplies, tools, food, all that kind of stuff. You're going to be trading with local people and people that you trust, that you've made relationships with. Pause for a second. All right. I had a text message. One thing you've got to look at too, and one of the downsides of zero trust in the government, because it's like if someone has lied to you all the time and lied to you for years and years and years, when they finally tell you the truth on something, you're probably not going to believe them. And this is one of the downsides on it, is emergency response stuff. If the people don't trust the government in a real emergency, it's just like if I've told Shelly that I'm going to come to her house and told her I was going to come to her house for 15 Saturdays in a row and build a shelter for Ginger. I've been like, 15 weekends in a row, I've told her I'll be there on Saturday. And then the 16th weekend, I tell her, I'm like, Shelly, I'll be there at 8 o'clock Saturday morning to come do it. She's going to be like thinking to herself, there ain't no way he's coming. He's told me 15 times before. So Shelly and Randy go do their own thing, and they go out of town on Saturday. And I show up at her house, and I'm like, what the hell? I was like, she has no trust in what I've been telling her. So when I actually do something, she's already blown it off, and she's not there. So then we don't get anything done. And it goes the same with people. If you have emergencies, the people won't evacuate. The people won't evacuate stuff. They won't follow instructions. They won't believe the warnings, and they're not going to cooperate with authorities. So then that means even small, manageable disasters are just they're going to become catastrophic on stuff. A hurricane comes through and people are like, we don't trust the government. The government has told us a million times about this thing. And then the people are like, we're staying. And then it's a big hurricane or a big natural disaster. And then it turns into a huge event. So you kind of got to watch that. So that's where you probably should find some more local sources for stuff like that. Don't trust fake news. Don't trust CNN. All that stuff. I mean, weather stuff. Watch Ryan Hall. I don't think Ryan Hall is going to lead you astray on that. I mean, he does it for all the right reasons. I like watching Ryan Hall. When there is weather stuff going in, I tune into him. All right. Then now another thing. Once the people have zero trust in big government, local governments are going to pop up. The people will still need some way, some kind of governmental system. And this goes back to the sheriff. Tina, good morning. Glad to have you in here. This goes back to, I trust the sheriff in our county. Super good dude. Said I go to church with him. Like the guy. Got great kids. Great family. But the sheriff is the highest ranking official, elected official in the county. Should be. He has a ton of power. So when the federal government truly collapses and people are like, we are done with the federal government. We are not obeying these stupid laws. We are not letting, we're not obeying any of this crap. The federal government to us is null and void. We're coming back to local stuff. That's when the local government takes over as a real, true form of government. You're talking about local communities, these small little communities that used to be all over the place that, they're going to govern themselves. You've got, the county sheriff will band together and he's going to take over on some of that. Volunteer groups are also going to do it. Volunteer groups are going to help do stuff like that. Coordinate, help people and do all that kind of stuff. Churches. I would love to see churches come back and be more, and everybody's going to say separation of church and state and all that stuff. Yes, but the churches already have the membership. They can help and do stuff like that. And I hate to use the term rule, but they can govern some of the stuff that's going on. Neighborhood alliances. You've got big neighborhoods. I mean, who's to say that they're not going to have their own little governmental stuff going on? I mean, and there's some big neighborhoods. If they get everybody to band together, I mean, well, they kind of got HOAs already, but most of the HOAs suck. So that's a problem. But yeah, you're going to have, if you have people that think like you and I on this show, neighborhood alliances are going to be something that are going to be pretty good, that they can band together and form their own little government. And they're like, this is how we're going to do things in our neck of the woods and be done with it. Let's see. L2 Survive. I love Ryan Hall. You should do a show on the most important channels in podcast. I didn't think about his weather channel until last year. Let me write that down. All right. L2 Survive. I wrote that joker down. But I've been watching Ryan Hall for a long time, and I like that guy. All right. This is kind of getting long-winded, but we're about done. Well, kind of. All right. So really, then now this gets into how other systems will break once the trust in the government disappears. It's going to kind of snowball on some of it. Financial systems. Raise your hands if you trust banks. I don't really trust the banks. I mean, you look at it, the banks are not there to help you. The banks are there to make money. They're here to manipulate. I mean, they charge you fees for everything. I mean, just stupid stuff. I understand the banks have to make money and these financial institutions have to make money, but all these fees and all that kind of stuff, I despise banks. I use the banks very little. People don't trust banks. So when all this starts going down, people are going to start pulling their money out. The banks are going to freeze. They're going to be like, oh, we're having a bank holiday. Nobody can come withdraw money. Or they're going to be like, you can only withdraw $20 a day, for the next month or something. And people are going to be like, how the hell are we going to survive? It's happened in foreign countries. They put a freeze on how much money you could pull out of the bank in a day. It's happened. Go back and look at that. Healthcare systems. Once you've lost trust in the government and these government agencies are the ones that are putting all this information out to the doctors that the doctors just lap up, or the doctors are getting paid for all the vaccines and all the drugs that they're pushing. Go look at that and see how many bonuses they get. On vaccines and stuff like that. So people stop believing the healthcare professionals. Alternative medicine gets on the rise. You can look at that now. And I hate to say alternative medicine. How about we use herbal medicine and the true original form of medicine comes back? That would be amazing. And you already see it already coming back. People are wanting to do that. People are wanting to get like chronically healthy, and like Leslie, they teach you how to become healthy and get off the pharmaceutical stuff. So that is a big thing. Law enforcement. People stop calling 911 and they handle it themselves. Shoot, shovel, and shut up, the 3 S's of what we kid around about all the time. People handle the problems themselves. Violence is going to start increasing. And, if you call and you don't trust the police to come out and do stuff, you're going to take care of stuff on your own. And then the police are going to lose legitimacy. It's like, hey, the police aren't doing anything. So why are we even going to bother to call them? We're going to take care of what's going on in our neighborhood. And then if the police do show up, we got it documented. This guy was doing this and this, and then we took care of it. And like, here's your case. And then if the police and the government aren't legitimate, they're going to try to take you in. You're going to be like, dude, we've got it handled. Just go on and don't worry about coming back to our community anymore. Bill says, financial institutions are only interested in how much money they can make in investments and interest off our money. 100%. The grid. Everything starts, you get a blackout, something like that. Everything becomes a conspiracy because they're like, what's happening with the government now? Are they shutting off the power? All this kind of stuff. Your elections and the governance, people without trust, the legitimacy of elections collapse. I think all the elections are rigged anymore. I don't think we've had a fair and honest election in a long time in this country. So now what are we going to do about it? I hope y'all are already doing some of this. I know most of y'all are already doing this because I've talked to a lot of y'all and met y'all in person, a bunch of you. Let's see. Natural healing is the phrase to use. All right. We will use natural healing from now on. What are we going to do about it? I've talked about it. Build local trust. Build the local communities. Talk to your neighbor. How many of you, I mean, there are tons of people that the only thing they know about their neighbor is they drive an F-150 and the wife drives a Toyota 4Runner, and that's about it. And they usually get home about 5 o'clock in the afternoon. That's what a lot of people only know about their neighbors. The national systems are so far away that once you're like, hey, these things don't work, we're going to build our own local trust. Local is what's going to save your butt, period. The federal government does not care about you. The federal government is going to keep on working no matter what, and they don't care, period, nothing about you. And unless they can get some money off of you, and pharmaceutical don't care unless they can get some money off of you. But your neighbor cares if you built a relationship with that person. Strengthen those neighborhood networks. Know your people, know what they can do, know who's reliable. I mean, you should know everybody on your street and what they do and stuff like that. You know, you might meet some pretty stinking awesome people on your street. I mean, you might have, hell, who knows? You might have a SEAL Team 6 member on your street, and you might have a doctor and a surgeon and all this kind of stuff on your street. But if you don't get out of your vehicle and walk down the road and talk to these people and meet them, you're never going to know this. Some of the other stuff, diversify your resources. You know, don't just keep all your money in one bank or one supply place. Don't keep all your food in just one place. Don't have all your money or don't have all your wealth in just green pieces of paper. Don't have it all in that. Have precious metals. Have durable goods. You know, instead of spending, if you've got a homestead and you know you're going to go buy some silver, instead of buying silver with it, why don't you go buy some more fence posts and some more rolls of wire? If you've got a good place to store those things, those fence posts are not going to go bad. That wire is not going to go bad if you store them right. So, I mean, if you look at it, yeah, we could buy some silver and it's going to go up a little bit, but I look at prices on durable goods and lumber. You know, go buy some lumber if you ever have to do repairs on your house, anything like that. Or if you're planning on maybe building a new chicken coop, instead of going and buying silver with it, go ahead and buy some durable goods and just store them somewhere until it's time to do this. I mean, you can always use fencing material on a homestead 100% of the time. I mean, I had to mend some fence the other day. I mended it. I already had the stuff sitting there. I didn't have to run to Tractor Supply or the feed store and buy that kind of stuff. Build the skills that replace the systems. All kinds of stuff. Cooking, first aid, medical stuff, security, communications. You know, if we're not going to rely on the government for all this stuff, we're going to have to do our own. So you're going to have to know. I don't know how many people don't know how to cook from scratch. They go eat out every meal. First aid stuff, first aid medical stuff. If you're not going to rely on the system, you know, and the hospitals and all that, you're going to have to know how to do some of this first aid and medical stuff on your own, and you're going to have to know people that know how to do that stuff. So get out there, build the skills that are going to replace the systems. Comm stuff. You need to know how to talk without these black boxes. Security stuff. If you're not going to call the police and you're going to handle it on your own, you and your network, you need to have security, and you need to have training in security. You need to know how to use that firearm, period. Another thing, stay informed, but don't dwell on all of it. Don't let, there's too many people that the headlines where the headlines control their emotions. They get all this stuff. You know, if it bleeds, it leads. They get these L2 survive. Hey, it's all on the website, man. There is all kinds of stuff on the website. Jump on there. It's all 10% off right now, and then free shipping on $150 or more. So, and if there's L2 survive, if there is something on there that we don't have that you need, email me and let me know, and we can get it for you pretty quick. So, but yeah, jump on there. I mean, there's tons of stuff. I've got literally, before you jumped on here, this whole side of my office is packed with stuff for church that I've got to pack up this weekend as soon as a couple more things come on. Yeah. Let's see. All right. Yeah. Don't let Forrest. We'll get, let's see. Here's a good party topic, not online. There's a person causing problems in your immediate community before SHTF. Once SHTF, you can't take care of the problem right away, or you wait till it gets worse. I've had this conversation with several people that I know, and one of those threats has been taken care of already. Naturally, I didn't do anything. But yeah, it's one of those things you do have to talk about it. And I've had long conversations before about that kind of stuff. But yes, that is a good topic. That is something that you need to want to do in person without your cell phones, and talk to the people and be like, hey, what are we going to do? And Darren said it's easy to know your neighbors when there are only two within a 5-mile radius. 100%. But yeah, don't get wrapped around the axles on all these big headlines and stuff, because most of the time they're throwing a big headline that's clickbait stuff for you to get all excited, get your blood pressure up, your heart rate up, and then you're thinking stupid. And it's like, oh my gosh, this happened. We've got to do this. That's where you get in. Fear replaces the logic. You're just dead set. There's going to be a bit, some kind of shortage, a toilet paper shortage. Oh my God, we're going to go to Sam's and buy everything of toilet paper that they've got, when there's not really a toilet paper shortage. They're talking about some other kind of crap. But people don't take the time. They read the headline and they think something horrible is going to happen. But if you read the whole article, it's kind of like, okay. But then a lot of times, I mean, you're trusting mainstream media, which we now all know we should be trusting them with everything. But then also stay with the local stuff. Know what's going on in your county and the next county over. That's going to do you far better than worrying about what's going on in Washington, worrying about what's going on in Ukraine, worrying about what's going on in Venezuela, all this kind of crap. Keep an eye on it, look at it, but then concentrate on that, on your county and your city and right around you. Know what's going on with your neighbors, that kind of stuff. Know if somebody's having a hard time doing something, so maybe you can go over there and help them. Know if somebody's house burnt down, that you could go over there, lend a hand, help them clean up some stuff, give them some money to go buy some stuff like that. That stuff, the local stuff is where it's at. Guys, that's about all I've got. And my trust has went down that much in the government. So, guys, I hope y'all don't trust the government. I know you probably don't trust the government, or you probably wouldn't be sitting on here listening to me rant for an hour about all this stuff. But, guys, I hope everybody has an awesome Thanksgiving. I've got to get some orders packed up, all that stuff. And my mother texted me last night. She's going to cook the turkey for us. And she told me, she was like, I need the turkey out of your freezer. I'm like, it's already out of the freezer. I was like, we put it's been in the refrigerator. And she's like, well, you need to bring it down. So I'm going to run real quick and take my mom the turkey this morning. Then I'm going to come back here, do some orders, get some of that stuff done. And then I'm probably going to go run some trim at my brother's house for a little while. So, because we're trying to finish that thing up. Hopefully his kitchen should be done. Like a hard date on it. He wanted it for some reason we won't go into, but he was wanting it done by like December 19th or something. So the kitchen should be done by then. And but yeah, Andrew Massey, good morning. Yes, and everybody have a happy Thanksgiving. I will be on here Friday morning. We're gonna do, I don't know, what should we call it? The Black Friday morning from Kentucky or something. But I will be on here 8 o'clock, same time. I don't really have any plans on Friday. I'll probably just do some stuff around here, hang out with my youngest one, and relax. But guys, I hope y'all have a good Thanksgiving. Remember to enjoy your family, even if you don't like all of them. Enjoy your family, and have a good day. Don't eat too much turkey. And guys, I've got stuff to do, and hey, we'll be back tomorrow night. Shelly and I will be on here for some kind of Thanksgiving special. I don't know. I think Shelly's going to dress up like an Indian or a pilgrim. I don't know. I might dress up as a turkey. Hell, you never know. But yes, we'll be back on here Wednesday night, 8 o'clock. Shelly and I, and then I'll be back here Friday. Guys, have a good Thanksgiving, and I will see y'all soon. Bye.